Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Snowy Whistler, where the weather can change in a day, and so could your board. Whether you are changing boards or just adjusting your stance, I'm going to show you a quick and easy, simple way to make adjustments with your bindings on your board. So let's check it out. All right, so I have a brand new pair of K2 Lean AT bindings. I am pretty excited to use, and I am mounting them onto my Capita Mercury. If you guys would like a review on either of these products, let me know in the comments. All right, so getting to it. Hopefully you know what your angles are on your feet. I know what mine is. My back foot is -15. I use a lot of angle. And then my front foot is +18. First, I'm going to put them onto the centered holes, okay? I know I like my stance a little bit wide, so I'm starting with the centered holes, but at the widest option, because I know that I like wider bindings. There we go. So that's in place. Now, this is the best way to check for the width of your bindings. You don't need a tape measure. All you need is this, fist to elbow, okay? I'm going to fit it into the narrowest part of my bindings right here. All right, so that doesn't fit. So I'm going to adjust another hole. Now that fits. Now I already know my preferred width of stance, and that is about an extra inch or inch and a half from my elbow to my fist. So if I am teaching a new beginner and they don't know what their stance is and I need to make adjustments, that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to get my student to come behind the board here and put their elbow into here and then their fist to there. Now, if they are maybe a small, light person, I will make sure it's touching. If they are a big person and maybe aggressive rider, or they like to do more jumps, then I would make it bigger. But as a rule of thumb, rule of arm, I could say, that would be the best bet. But since I know I like mine wider, I'm going to make sure mine is wider. All right, so I have my bindings centered on the factory markers, which indicate the center. But it's currently snowing here in Whistler, and I will probably be riding some powder. So I am going to set back my back binding. So right now they're centered, and I'm testing the width, and it's too narrow. So I'm not going to move this one, I'm only going to move this binding. So I'm going to start by a whole hole. And that is a little bit shy of where I like it. You know, I've been riding for, 20 years, so I have a pretty good idea on where I like my bindings. There we go. I think I'll live with that. All right, now, having the right tool for the job is very important. Make sure you use a Phillips 3 or a 2, but prefer the Phillips 3. This way you'll less likely strip the hardware. You do not want to strip the hardware. So I'm going to fit one in, gently tighten. I don't want to tighten too hard because I might need to adjust my binding to the holes. So if I just do it loosely, I can still wiggle the binding. And I'll do this one loose. Okay, so same thing at the front. But this time I have more threading options through my base plate, so my screws are going to be further apart. I'm still not sure if the back side is what it should look like, but that was the only option I had, so I think I'm going to go with it. All right, see, that doesn't look right, but maybe it's because I'm so far back. All right, now all of them are finger tight. Now I can crank them, keeping the screwdriver straight and just a nice tension on the bolts. All four of them should be the same. These are brand new bolts, so they have some Loctite on the threads, which keeps them from loosening. So you don't need to apply too much pressure into the screws because they have the thread locker on them. All right, so there is my setup. What do you think? I'm pretty excited to use these new bindings. K2 lean. Guess I'm going to ride just like Pat Moore. All right, welcome back. So that was my all mountain board, and this is my park board, K2 After Black, and I have some older now pilots. As you can tell, they've been around a little bit, but still good. They're a little bit softer than the K2 AT leans, apparently. I haven't tried them yet, but so these are going to stay on my freestyle board, while my AT leans are going to be on my freeride boards. All right, so let's just make this easy. Plop. Just take them all the way out. All right. So make sure you have the bindings on the right side. Remember, ratchets go to the outside. Save yourself some time. If you get to the top of the gondola and you're ratcheting from the inside, you're going to feel like a total moron. So, obviously, and I am -15 at the back. And there's these convenient center markers here. So I'm going to start with center, but I know that I like wide, so I'm going the furthest back I can do. Front here, I am +18. +18, yep. Okay, starting with these markers, but all the way forward. There you go. Now let's check the width with my patented forearm technique, elbow to fist. I don't need a tape measure, so that's too narrow. So I will go up to the next bolt, equally on both sides, because this is my freestyle board, so I want it centered. And that is a little bit narrow. I could rock it sometimes, but nah. So I'm going to try to go for the middle of these, in the middle of the slots there. In the middle. Boom. Definitely better. So find what works for you. But yeah, the forearm technique is a fast and convenient way. So let's put that in there. Gently put in the screw. So the threads are in, but it's not tight. So if I need to adjust, so if I need to wiggle my board like this, my binding, I can do so. If you ride a powder specific board, I'll show you how I would set up my bindings. So I'm regular, so I'm left foot forward. Now, instead of starting with some center holes, this board doesn't even have them. So with this board, I would probably center on the back screws. Because it's powder, I'm riding directional, so I want less tail, more nose. Obviously, this powder board is already built that way, but that's still how I want to ride it. So I'm going to start with my back binding here, and then I will use my fist to elbow technique to know where to place this exactly. Well, I hope that helps you out and made some sense. Basically what I'm just trying to get across is the easiest way to find the width of your bindings using your fist to elbow and the narrowest part of your bindings, which is usually in between the heel cups. No need for a tape measure. Yeah, so that's a good place to start, right? So just to reiterate, when I teach, beginner lessons, or somebody needs to change their bindings and they have no idea, that's where I start. They have no idea, I have no idea. Let's start there. Let's start with their elbow, not my arm, their elbow to fist at the narrowest part of the bindings, and we go from there. So how about you try that at home on your board right now, see the width, how it compares, fist to elbow, and then once you have a rough idea on how that compares, then you don't need a tape measure, and you can adjust your bindings and change boards a little bit easier, hopefully. So thanks for tuning in, and subscribe for more, or let me know in the comments what I should do, need to do. Brand new to this, so help me out. Thanks.